Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier. The signature race of the Fairgrounds meeting is on Saturday afternoon, the $1 million Grade 2 Louisiana Derby for 3-year-olds prepping for the Kentucky Derby. The race is at 1 1/8 miles, and let's take a look at this field. The morning line favorite, and really the horse to beat, is the number 8 Gervin, a perfect 2 for 2 on dirt for trainer Joe Sharp. And this horse won the prep for the Louisiana Derby, the Grade 2 Risen Star, in nice style.
Really hasn't done anything wrong, has he? In all 3 of his starts, he's been no worse than second beat in the head, and that was on turf. Look, there's nothing really to say bad about this horse. He's got the 93 Beyer, highest last out in the field. He's got the 113 time form US rating, highest last out in the field. I have no knocks other than the price.
He beat 3 of these common foes in the Risen Star, and he did it showing a lot of professionalism for such a lightly raced horse. Beautiful ride from Brian Hernandez Jr., saving ground, staying in, even late on the turn, angled out at just the right time. A little bit goofy with the lead changes in the stretch, but can be expected. He's only run a couple of times. And with his uncoupled stablemate, the number 9 hot foot in the race, the closing Gervin automatically gets pace.
And I mean, look, I have no issue with it whatsoever, because you look at this horse on the far outside, Hotfoot, on paper he has no chance, but guess what? He shows speed, and arguably the horse you're going to have to beat if you're a Gervin, or the most likely alternative, is Local Hero, and he could have been loose on the lead. I have no problem with another horse going out, same connections, basically playing the rabbit roll.
Hotfoot playing the rabbit roll, a very unlikely winner, but you're right. He could hurt the chances of Local Hero because, in Local Hero's races, he hasn't really shown that tendency to rate. He can get very, very headstrong and pull his jockey right out of the saddle in the early portion of his race. Now, he pounded a good field in that maiden race 2-back. Blue Ridge Traveler ran surprisingly well in the Spiral last week, albeit on a synthetic surface. In the Risen Star, Local Hero kind of ran away again early, tired and paid the price against Gervin. It's going to be up to Florent Giroux to play this rabbit right. There's going to be a point in this race where he inherits the front. But the question is, did he have to work too hard to get that lead?
It'll be interesting to see how fast the rabbit goes, because if the far outside horse just drops 46 and this horse, Local Hero, is right near him, then yeah, he's probably in deep trouble. I wonder if you're Giroux, do you ride this horse as if the pace setter is not in the race?
I would.
And just say, you know what, we're going to go 48. And we're probably going to be a length and a half in front of the third place runner. We know that the pace setter is going to stop. That's probably what I would do. I mean, look, if you catch a flyer, go on with it, I guess. But I would basically ride the race as if that other horse wasn't even in.
I think that's Giroux's plan. Whether Local Hero cooperates, that's another story, because it'll be very interesting to see. You take a hold of this horse. Is he going to fight you, or is he going to be kind? That's the key to the race, really, for Local Hero.
And I'll tell you what, if he displays the ability to relax a little bit and he can repeat that run from 2-back, not only is he a big player here, but all of a sudden, he's an interesting one going forward.
Todd Pletcher has just been on fire with his 3-year-olds this Kentucky Derby season. He has 2 entrants in the Grade 2 Louisiana Derby. The more fancied of the 2 will be the number 1 Patch, who's got this classic pedigree by Belmont Stakes winner Union Rags from the immediate family of Banshee Breeze, who was a good distaffer back in the day. Patch was beaten in the debut. I think 6 was a little bit short. He improved by leaps and bounds last time out. 89 Beyer speed figure. Against a weak field, he had to work hard, but this horse acts like he'll run all day.
Yeah, he really does. Like you say, the debut, his best stride was late. He galloped out like a freight train, comes back at 1 mile. It wasn't the most visually impressive effort, but he was never really a loser in there, let's be honest. Now we'll find out if he can go 2 turns. Like you said, the pedigree, not a problem. Union Rags is a half to Tiz Windy, one of my favorites. She was never, I hate to say that talented, but she would run for you all day.
She wasn't brilliant, but she stayed.
Yeah, she was a stayer. She'd go 1 1/8 miles, no problem. Distance isn't going to be the issue for this horse. I want to find out where he's going to be positioned, because he hasn't been that far off the pace in his 2 races earlier.
Draws a great inside post. He lets this speed go. He's going to probably try to save some ground and hope that he can keep up at least with that pace and not be too far back as they approach the far turn. Pletcher's other runner is the number 5 Monaco, who is yet to live up to that gaudy $1.3 million purchase price. A maiden winner last time out by 12 lengths. That sounds good. Then the Beyer speed figure, only a 58. Todd's hoping blinkers work wonders.
You know, it's interesting, though. You go back and you look at the run 2-back. He just he finished with interest, but he was just kind of blah. Then most recently, I thought he was green as grass. When he hit the front, Castanon is all over him, trying to just keep him to his task. Clearly, he wasn't saying we've got to go on with it because you're a country mile in front of everyone. The blinkers go on. Todd does not do well first-time blinkers in graded stakes races. Past 5 years, first-time blinkers graded stake 1 for 20. This is not a move that Pletcher does successfully in the past. I believe he did it with the horse that came up from Tampa to Aqueduct for the Gotham, and that horse is still running.
The board didn't fire.
The horse is still running. So I'm not suggesting Monaco is hopeless, but if you just look at the raw dope, on paper, he has no chance.
The number 7, Sorry Eric, is 30-1 on the line, and he didn't do much running in the Risen Star last time out. For Sorry Eric's fans, however, we've got a pretty impressive formulator fact for his fantastic trainer, Keith DeZormo. Let's take a look at that formulator fact for Hey Eric. Over the past 2 years, 3-year-old Dirt Router's mini layoff.
It's good.
53%, a $5.68 ROI, slowly creeping forward on the buyer scales. Going to get some pace to attack. I'm not going to be pertinent enough to admit he's going to win this race, but maybe he can get a piece at a big price.
Why not? He may be one of the longest shots on the board, and there's no reason to think distance isn't going to be his friend, and he's going to get pace. I agree, maybe underneath.
Hollywood Handsome. Does Dallas Stewart have another one? It's going to hit the board in the Kentucky Derby at 1,000,000,000 and blow up the tote board. Hollywood Handsome's got the profile, not a lot of early speed. He kicks a little bit in the stretch, and it looks like he's getting good at the right time. That race was kind of slow last time, though.
There's a part of me that would love to see this horse run on very well at the end and get the turn, get the turn back eventually, because this is, to me, this is the Dallas Stewart special, where the horses come running late. They show a little bit going 2 turns, but they're probably not truly 2-turn horses. You see Tapazar, he was a Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner. I'd love to see another turn back with this kind of horse.
Let's look at our top selection, however, for the Grade 2 Louisiana Derby. We're on the same page with the beautifully bred number 6 Guest Suite. He was a little bit far behind in the Risen Star. I think that pace is faster than it looked on paper. He ran, he gave a good solid effort, he improved on the buyer standpoint, but we think with pace at this distance, he's still improving.
Isn't he the definition of a horse that's not brilliant? He's just going to stay.
Right.
He's not going to blow you away with some sort of brilliant run, but he's just going to keep going on, and that's kind of why I like this horse, hopefully not just for Saturday, but going forward, because you mentioned the pedigree, you see Quality Road. All right, he was more of a middle distance type, but so far, all of a sudden, his babies are starting to put it together. And the dam side, you have AP Indy, you have Summer Squall, you've got big names in there. Distance is going to be his friend, and I love that he is yet to take a step back. In all of his races, I know they're not giant improvements, but slowly but surely, give me a 95 buyer this time around, and guess what? I will be probably, I don't want to say suckered because I think he can actually run, but I would be very, very interested in him first Saturday in May.
His best race as a 2-year-old came in his 3rd start following a layoff line. Here's the 3rd race as a 3-year-old for Guest Suite. Continues to work quickly at the fairgrounds, and again, with this rabbit in the race, with Local Hero in the race, he's going to be closing, and he's got a shot in that long stretch to overtake Gervin. What price do you take? He's 4-1 on the line.
I made him 3. I think 3 is fair in here. I'm not suggesting I'm going to go, empty my pockets on him at 3-1, but I would, selfishly, I just want a good late run. Even if Gervin gets the better of me, I don't really care.
Tighten him up.
Tighten him up and get him ready for the ultimate goal, obviously, the Kentucky Derby.
He's your top pick. Give me numbers.
I'm going 6, 8, 1, and 3.
I'm going 6, 8, 1, and 3. In the Grade 2 Louisiana Derby, it has an approximate post time of 5:21 Central on Saturday. Best of luck.